The West Virginia baseball program continues to have their sights set on hosting an NCAA regional come tournament time. The regular season is in the books. It's on to the Big 12 tournament and so on after that. We're going to talk about it all here on this episode of Mountaineer Moment. Stick around.
This is the Mountaineer Moment, your source for all things West Virginia football and basketball. From pregame to postgame coverage and breaking news, we've got you covered. Let's go.
Welcome in, everybody, to another episode of Mountaineer Moment, episode 229 of the show. And if you're watching on YouTube, we have a little bit different of a setup that we normally do. But the show must go on, all right? And so we're bringing you West Virginia baseball content today. If you are new here to Mountaineer Moment, we primarily cover West Virginia football and basketball. But we got a red-hot baseball team in Morgantown, and so we got a lot to talk about on this episode 229. And if you are new, welcome to Mountaineer Moment. My name's Troy, and we would love for you to join this growing Mountaineer Moment community as we're well over 1,000 subscribers on YouTube, and we keep climbing, coming off of our best month ever in program show history, whatever you want to call it, of April, man, where we just took off. And so we want to keep that thing rolling. 229 episodes in at this point. If you like what you hear, you like what you see, drop a like, leave a comment, and leave a rating. Leave, on our audio platforms, man, leave a rating. Those things do good for algorithms. So if you're listening on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or Amazon Music, go ahead and do that for us. But again, we're going to jump right in here. West Virginia baseball coming off a big series win over TCU. They won that first one. They dropped the second one on Friday night, but on Saturday they prevailed in come-from-behind fashion over TCU. So we'll talk about what that means. We'll tie a bow on the regular season because that's, in fact, what the Mountaineers were able to do tonight and this afternoon. And then we'll talk big picture, right? Because this is the number 9 ranked team in all of college baseball. And so obviously they have their sights set on more than just a good, solid, great regular season performance, man. They got their sights set on something bigger. That's going to be happening as part of the Big 12 tournament and beyond, right? Because this is a team that's looking to host a regional, and I must say I think they've put together a resume that checks those boxes. Now, TCU came to town, and it's interesting with them, right? Enter into the final weekend of the regular season in Morgantown, and TCU is a team many believe are firmly on that NCAA bubble. And so they had a lot to play for. West Virginia obviously firmly in the tournament, but still looking to solidify their resume as a hosting university, one of the 16 teams that would host a regional. And in Morgantown, just a quick recap, Morgantown on Thursday night, it was a 2-0 victory for the Mountaineers. 2 runs was all they need because they got a dominant pitching performance. And then on Friday, the Bats just simply did not get going on Friday night. A 4-0 loss to TCU. Their starter put together an absolutely brilliant performance. Mountaineers could not touch him. But the Bats got going. The Mountaineers again got down early to TCU on Saturday, but scrapped and clawed their way back. It was a lot of rain to end that game. But the Mountaineers win that one 6-4 on Saturday afternoon. And, just continued in, with that. Sorry, just making sure my mic's working here. Just continued to put together or finalize, I should say, a solid, incredibly solid season overall. But the red hot end to the regular season that they had was rather impressive. So this was a Mountaineer team that down the stretch of the season won 9 out of 10, right? The only loss coming in that shutout loss at home on Friday night to TCU. And, we, again, don't cover the Mountaineer baseball program a ton, obviously, on Mountaineer Moment. We certainly plan to do it over the next few weeks as, postseason play kicks off. But one of the episodes that we recently did here on the show was talking about what was at stake for West Virginia coming into this final weekend of the regular season. And, West Virginia was riding, obviously, a high. They went out to Lawrence, beat the Kansas Jayhawks, the then ranked number 7 in the country Kansas Jayhawks, and they went out there and swept them. You want to talk about riding a high. That was a really, really impressive series that the Mountaineers put together offensively and pitching. They just obviously had it all working. That's what's going to be required if you're going to sweep a team that's in the top 10 on the road. And the Mountaineers did just that. Kansas dropped, down in the, overall AP 25. West Virginia jumped all the way up to 9. And then obviously it's like, well, hold up. There's 1 week left. Top 16 get to host a regional. West Virginia is in position to do that, to finish the season strong and put themselves in that position to be one of those locations. And, obviously the Friday night loss you don't love. The bats simply didn't get going. You had like 2 or 3 hits in that game all night. And you get down early on Saturday, and it's like, oh no, you dropped 2 out of 3 at home to TCU. Is that how you want to end your regular season? Well, you scrapped and clawed your way back and were able to get the victory on Saturday afternoon against 6-4. And again, I think now Big 12 tournament, we'll talk about here in just a moment on Mountaineer Moment. But I think you did enough here, right? I mean, certainly you go drop your first game, 1 and done out in Arizona for the Big 12 tournament, then, that kind of might have you sweating a little bit. I don't know, but this regular season that West Virginia put together was incredibly special and certainly deserving of a look, at the very least, a look at the NCAA tournament and being one of those regional sites. All right. So again, to wrap up this Mountaineer regular season, so they finished second in sole possession of second place in the Big 12 Conference, a 37-13 record overall, and a 21-9 record in conference play, which set a program record for conference wins. Their previous high, I think, was 19, and they get to 21. 21-9 in the Big 12. Just 1 game back of the Kansas Jayhawks, who dropped their regular season finale against BYU to get to 22-8. And again, that has Mountaineer fans just shaking their head a little bit, because West Virginia would have been the 1 seed in the Big 12 tournament had they taken care of business on Saturday night, because of that sweep that they had last weekend over Kansas. They both could have been 22-8. West Virginia could have been the 1 seed, but they're not. And you got to move on from that. But just an unbelievable season, unbelievable, Sabins and this staff and the work that they've done over the last several years, right? But Mountaineers obviously a chance to host a regional for the first time since 2019. And after the break here, we'll talk about that. We'll talk about big picture stuff here on Mountaineer Moment, so stick around. This episode of Mountaineer Moment is brought to you by our friends over at Levels Arcade and Bar, which is located in Morgantown. So if you're coming, maybe we've been talking about the Mountaineers maybe hosting a regional, and what a better opportunity to go to Morgantown, catch some college baseball, and enjoy your time at Levels Arcade and Bar. Great food, great beers on tap, and a lot of games. This place is decked out with new and vintage games for you and your family to enjoy. So head on over to Levels Arcade and Bar in Morgantown. Check them out on Instagram for the latest theme nights and things going on throughout the week at Levels Arcade. And don't forget to tell them that Mountaineer Moment sent you. All right, Mountaineer fans. So as we tie a bow on this 229th episode of Mountaineer Moment, we are looking toward the future. We're talking big picture, because this is a college baseball program that's ranked in the top 10 and has their sights set on bigger, like I just said, than an impressive regular season. They're focused on more, and that starts in the Big 12 tournament, which is coming up, a single elimination tournament. The top 12 teams qualify for this, and so West Virginia is obviously going to be one of the 4 teams receiving a bye, and so they will not see action until Thursday night, and we will wait who they're going to be playing out in Arizona. And so Mountaineers will make the trip out there, and then their first game will be in the quarterfinals on Thursday, obviously semifinals after that on Friday, and then the final on Saturday. An opportunity to go and win a Big 12 conference championship, conference tournament championship. And so, 3 games in 3 days, you have an opportunity to see 3 different teams, right? It's going to move fast. It's not a series, but it is an opportunity to, and again, I think they've done enough, right, to punch their ticket into, a regional. But certainly you can get a better spot, a higher seeding. And, as Mountaineer fans, we've sweated out a few Selection Sunday kind of events in our history in West Virginia basketball. So you don't want to be sweating. Obviously, a loss on, Thursday, I don't know, that might have you thinking a little bit. But you win on Thursday, you head to the semifinals on Friday, and, who knows, right? Single elimination baseball, anything can happen. It's like the wild card in baseball when it was just 1 game, right? Anything can happen. And so we'll see what the Mountaineers do. But again, they'll be playing their first action in Arizona, set for, I think, 7:30 on Thursday, May 21st. So make sure you're tuned in to the Mountaineers in the Big 12 Conference Tournament. And then after that, it's on to regional play. And the Mountaineers are obviously excited about that and would love to host, right? So we know, again, the 16 teams are selected to host regionals, that are made up of, obviously, 4 different teams, double elimination style, and then, onto the super regionals, from there, depending on how that all shakes out. But lots of baseball to be played, hopefully, for the Mountaineers coming up over the next days and weeks and into June. And again, we're excited to bring you that coverage here on Mountaineer Moment, man. If you like what you're hearing, or if you're just like, man, I don't think West Virginia baseball gets enough coverage, but you want Mountaineer Moment to do it, man, make sure you leave your thoughts in the comment section so that we can be encouraged to keep bringing it and keep talking Mountaineer baseball here on Mountaineer Moment on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and Amazon Music. We'd love for you to join this community, man. So hit that subscribe button, and we'll see you next time. Let's go Mountaineers.